morning, guys, or good
Good
afternoon.
morning,
Sorry.
Sherman.
Good afternoon, so I should say.
Good afternoon, Sherman.
I'm here this afternoon with Jim Engdahl, and who's the Chief Executive Officer for Mass Gold, and Laurie Thomas, who's the head of Investor Relations and Corporate Development with Mass Gold. It's a real treat, and I'm glad that you guys have been able to take some time. I'm in the beautiful Okanagan and Vernon, BC, and Laurie and Jim are sitting in Saskatoon. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Correct. It's sunny here and warm as well, Sherman.
Oh,
We got 30-degree weather today.
Canada's got this wonderful summer weather across the whole country, and then things tend to change for some of us in the winter, especially those in Saskatchewan. But you know, what a wonderful opportunity to talk to you both. I mean, we're here to talk about Mass Gold and the exciting news release that you guys put out this morning. I really took note of it just by way of some history for our listeners. You know, I've been involved in Saskatchewan for many years, going back to the Golden Band days and the work of Ron Netolinsky and other mavericks like Ross McElroy. And you know, if we look at, you know, the essence of exploration is to find world-class assets in world-class jurisdictions. And I really wanted to go over a couple things with you guys today. One is to talk a little bit about, obviously, the incredibly high-grade results that you put out this morning, but also, you know, to talk about Saskatchewan as a jurisdiction. I mean, Robert Friedland recently had done a video talking about, you know, exploring in frontier areas, and because in order to have success in the exploration business, you have to find world-class assets in great jurisdictions. And I think I wanted to, you know, highlight with Jim and Laurie, you know, how impressive Saskatchewan is. I mean, you know, you look at a jurisdiction that's been the home of some world-class deposits that people might not be fully aware of, and that's what we're trying to do, is build some awareness. You know, the Trans-Hudson Corridor, which runs through Saskatchewan, actually, you know, dips down into the Homestake deposits in the Dakotas, where there's 40-50 million ounces of, you know, gold that's been mined out of there, and then it you know, surfaces up in the Hud Bay ore body around Flin Flon. And that whole area of Saskatchewan Trans-Hudson Corridor, in my view, is dramatically underexplored, in particular for gold. And so, you know, we've got a big position, and, you know, I've always been following Mass Gold and, you know, other companies in the Saskatchewan gold sector. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to talk to Jim and Laurie about, you know, what they're doing in Saskatchewan. So I'm here with Jim Engdahl, the Chief Executive Officer of Mass Gold, and Laurie Thomas, who heads up the Corporate Development Investor Relations. And I'm just going to hand the floor over to you, Jim, to tell us a little bit about your views on Saskatchewan and how exciting it is, and then, you know, give us a, you know, 2 or 3 minute update as to how things are going at Mass and these incredible results this morning.
Well, thanks, Sherman. And yeah, it's a great time to talk about Saskatchewan, quite frankly. I mean, Ron Netolinsky and himself, as the Mining Hall of Famer, that when he asked me to become part of the Mass Gold team, was one less rodeo for me because of who Ron is, but also because of Saskatchewan. I think I'm pretty familiar with the area that we're talking about, and you pretty well stole our whole presentation in terms of the Trans-Hudson origin and all of that. But the bottom line is, Ron's vision back in 2010 was to consolidate that LaRange Greenstone belt because of all the historic work that had been done there. And that is right in the middle of the Trans-Hudson origin. And the amount of historical ounces that have been found there and were still there after a lot of mines have been started and shut down pre-2000, there's still 3 million ounces of historical gold there, but it was basically shut down mainly because the price of gold was sub $300. And Ron always knew that. And none of these deposits that were there had very much drilling on them below 300 meters, if any. But the gold was still there, and with gold prices on from 250, 300 to 2,000 and Canadian dollars turned 23 or 2,400, it made a significant economic opportunity to, I think, will develop into a terrific gold play for that whole belt. And the objective there was to acquire assets and upgrade them, as opposed to do a lot of exploration as per greenfield or brownfield. So that was what the focus has been, and following Ron's nose for gold, it was pretty easy to follow to the right companies, and as such, that's really what we've been doing now. And go back a little bit to talking about the province. The province right now is one of the top jurisdictions in the world to do mining and work in. And thanks to Putin, but more thanks to the Ukrainian people as a result of that war. And it's a sad situation, but the bottom line, Saskatchewan is benefiting to unlimited levels with commodity prices reaching all-time highs. Saskatchewan rich in uranium and oil and gas and potash and agriculture products, every one which is reaching historic world prices. Saskatchewan for a long time is now going to be one of the leading jurisdictions in the world economically as well, we believe. And I think the government here at the present time is the right government to take advantage of that whole situation. So from our perspective, in achieving what we wanted to do, the results that you've seen this morning on the wire was exceptional for us, because our business model is a hub and spoke business model, and our properties right now are the whole south end of that Larange Greenstone Belt area, and North Lake, which is where that very high grade zone we hit, is going to be the hub. And with the former producing Contact Lake mine that Cameco had in production in the 90s and shut down, that was one of those. We now own that, and we bought that for like $165,000 bond we had to post to the government. So we got a former producing mine that had 500,000 ounces when Cameco started. They mined 188,000 ounces. So based on the back of a napkin, there still should be some gold left there.
Yeah.
And so we got that for $165,000. Our next acquisition, which was critical, was the Comstock property, the Preview Southwest. And with that came 420,000 ounces. And that was a resource calculation that was done 2016, I believe. Subsequent to that, there was more drilling that was not included in the resource. So we're working towards now, we had a target of 1 million ounces last year. Our target for 2021, or 22, I'm sorry, is to get to about 1.5 million. And so our fall program is going to be to more define the Contact Lake program with a couple twinning holes from historic, so we can bring some of that back into our balance sheet, and then start looking at planning what we think we can do on the southern belt. There's still more potential acquisitions that we would like to do in the northern part of the belt, but we control 50% of that belt now and would love to take control of the whole thing. But the focus going forward is the southern part of the belt, plus our Greywacke property, which is kind of in between. But it also is 155,000 ounces. So we're pretty excited for sure, to say the least.
Well, and Sherman, just to add to that, we were waiting on assay results, and so to go back to the whole Saskatchewan piece, exploration companies right now, you're seeing a ton of drilling and stuff, whether it's uranium, gold, and stuff. So there was a few shareholders and whatnot waiting for the announcement this morning and stuff, and we kept saying, yeah, it's coming. So it was nice to get that release out this morning. So
Well, yeah, no, I think
the labs are backed up, as you know, and
yeah, no, you think your timing's excellent. I mean, we're starting to see, from our side, we're starting to see some real interesting gold stories. And, we really try and focus on companies that have really strong management teams, have very good projects, which obviously we love Saskatchewan, and then are available at the right price. And so I think, Mass Gold with the $13 million market cap is something that investors should really pay attention to. And I guess Laurie, it was great to have you join Mass, and I mean you've got a fantastic track record, and maybe just tell us quickly what attracted you to join Jim.
Be to follow a good CEO. So just a little bit about my background. Commodities. I spent almost 12 years with Cameco because I am a chartered professional accountant. Worked with the C-suite there and stuff, and then left there and joined UEX. So I have an extensive experience in uranium and thought, why not step over to gold? But again, it's about the people and the team, and Jim's been building the team. We have a new CFO. Well, she's not new. She was kind of the corporate secretary and stuff, but Karen Frisky, our chief geologist, Darren. So I would say Jim's building an excellent leadership team here based in Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon and stuff. So yeah, and we've got good projects. And the other part is Jim knows the LaRange area, and you haven't even touched on the fact that you basically were director of finance at Claude Resources when they poured the first gold.
Yeah, I held the first brick there in 92.
Well, and there's no question the pedigree's there. So that's that's why I took the opportunity, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time with me this morning. And I think we've achieved that, build a bit of awareness as to what's going on in Saskatchewan. We believe very strongly that gold should be part of, an investor's portfolio, especially. And you brought up some wonderful points, Jim, about what's happening globally. There's just so many. We all know that. I mean, Laurie and Jim, that are sort of veterans in the resource business. We've got a couple things going on. We've got electrification happening, which you change transportation, you change the world. You've got all kinds of things, both politically and economically, that are going on. So, to us, it makes a ton of sense to have gold in the portfolio. And then we say, okay, well, where's a great jurisdiction? Well, you don't have to steam off to West Africa. I mean, you can do it right here in Saskatchewan. So, with that, maybe any last closing comments? I've been here with Jim Engdahl, the Chief Executive Officer of Mass, and Laurie Thomas, and I'll let you guys say the last words.
Just like to add one more or a couple more little quick comments, Sherman. One of the other key factors in developing something like this is your Indigenous people that we work with here. And we've hired the North Can group, which is owned by the LaRange Band, to do all our environmental work. And the LaRange Band is the primary Indigenous people that we work with. And I've known them for many years. They're just terrific people to work with. They were very upset when Contact Lake got shut down. And for the most part, they're very excited about hearing the possibility of that coming back into play. So that's significant from a resource and a team perspective. And then our exploration team, headed up by Darren Slugowski, which he really works for Axiom Group, but he's totally dedicated to us. And the Axiom Group have 100 people. So we've got a terrific team, terrific support team. And with Laurie joining, we're ready to get at it.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We've been long-term shareholders, as you know, of Mass. I've done numerous site tours, into Saskatchewan. Not that I would be against another one, but I love going to.
Sherman, you can come in January when it's -50.
I've actually been there during winter drilling, and it's
cold.
It's cold.
Cold.
So once again, thank you so much for your time, guys, today. And I've been here with Mass Gold and Jim Engdahl and Laurie Thomas. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure chatting with you again, Sherman.
Thanks, Sherman.